take an opportunity to, continue to listen to subject matter experts talk about things that we can do to improve our service delivery inside the company, outside the company, and some projects that we're working on, where the company's going, how we're getting there, how you play a role into it, how it affects you. So we're just trying to be more transparent, as an organization, and value everybody's input. And if there's good recommendations, please express those in the Q&A section of it. And then we're also looking for, future topics, to stack the training topics for 2018. We're also looking for some panelists to get on there and contribute. So this is a great opportunity for us once a week to kind of hit pause, come together as a team, and learn a little bit more about different departments and contributions throughout the organization and what's coming next. So I'm going to really turn it over to Ed and Tripti. Appreciate you two chairing this week's effort, and I'm sure we'll close it out with a few comments later on.
Great, thanks, Ty and John. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking about communication etiquette and how we can make it easier for people to reach us and how to present a professional and consistent image while doing it. My name's Ed Daniluk. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Pacific Northwest in the U.S., and I'm joined by
Tripti Nainen. I'm the Marketing Specialist for the company.
Today, we're going to be discussing an overview of why effective communication is important to everyone, how to update your contact information, how to effectively set up your email signatures, how to utilize our desktop and cellular phone devices more effectively, and conclude with some takeaways that'll benefit you directly. As a company, we've grown a lot over the last 5 years, doubling the size of the company with plans to double it again in the next 5 years. Today we have around 3,500 locations in over 240 cities with over 9,200 employees. Keeping track of the changes that come along with this kind of growth can be challenging. Each day it becomes more likely that the people we work with and support may not have had the opportunity to have met you, understand what it is that you do, or understand the best method of communicating with you. So today we're going to talk about a few simple practices of internal and external communication that'll help us all communicate a little more effectively. So everyone benefits from effective communication. Senior management communicating company strategies, or equally importantly, receiving feedback. Office staff and departments when communicating to larger groups of employees and receiving several responses back from different support groups. Field managers, frontline employees, sales and marketing staff who often work remotely and benefit directly from communication while they're away from their offices. Today, we're going to discuss some simple tips and practices that'll help us communicate a little more effectively. But before we do that, we're going to have a quick poll question to start us off. So in the poll question, what we're asking is, what is your preferred method of communication at work? Is it email, a telephone call, a cellular call, or text message? And today you're playing for a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card, and the sixth caller or respondent will be the winner of today's prize.
So if everyone could just vote, and then we'll see who, just like a radio, seeing who gets in. Okay, so we already have 6 people the 6th person called in, so I'll write that name down. Let's see how the poll is going. It's definitely lopsided in one way. Give it maybe a couple more seconds here, then I'll publish the results. Everyone was really quick to the draw today to vote. All right, so I'm gonna end polling and share the results. Here you go, Ed.
All right, so most people, almost everyone at work prefers to communicate by email. Not unexpected. So thank you for participating. Now we're going to talk about your contact information. Seeing as that we're a company made up of 9,200 employees, it's vital that we know how to contact each other and rely on the accuracy of the contact information in our system directories. So the first step is to review your entry in the Active Directory. This is a repository where most people will be able to search for your contact information. You access this by clicking on the address book button in Outlook, which pulls up a directory of all of your contacts. Look up your name by first and last name and check the information for accuracy. And if you notice any outdated information, move on to step 2. So when we were preparing for this presentation, both Tripti and I had to go through the process of looking up our Active Directory information. And I know mine was incorrect. You know, I had to update it, and it was like a little embarrassing to see. And I know that Tripti's needed to be updated as well. So if you take the time to update it, chances are people will be able to contact you much quicker, and the information will be accurate. If for some reason you're having an issue, submit a help desk ticket, choose Active Directory from the application system dropdown, and then indicate the change that needs to be made in the notes section. Once IT updates your information, it'll take 2 to 3 days before they can see these changes. Now we're going to talk about response times, something that is really important to me. And in my past life in sales, it was a necessity. So, to really, as a general practice, if you receive an email, phone message, and if it's today before 3 o'clock, you should really try to return the message the same day. It doesn't need to be an answer. All it really needs to be is an acknowledgement, so that the person that's sending the message to you knows they don't need to follow up. Do another thing. You received the message and that you're going to be getting back to them. If you can answer it, terrific. If it's something after 3 p.m., if you can do it the same day, that's even better. But please try to respond within 24 hours, so the next day. By doing this, you'll show professionalism, attentiveness, and foster good client-colleague relationships. Now we're going to go to Tripti, who's going to talk to us about emails.
Thanks, Ed. That was a great intro. Well, everyone, as you know, emails are part of our daily lives, one of the primary ways we communicate. Therefore, it's extremely important that we understand how to convey our messages in the intended way. So when sending an email, you want to make sure that the purpose is clear, starting with the subject line. It should indicate the project topic you are referring to, as well as what stage in the process it is, or a call to action. In this case, I have a hypothetical Epic Parking Center. It's a case study I'm specifically referring to, and my call to action is design for review. It gives the person an idea of what they're looking for. Begin your email with a salutation of some sort. Now, internally, it doesn't have to be overly formal. Over here, I'm just saying, hi, Ed. With prospects or clients, however, generally best to start with dear initially. With familiarity, you could eventually become a bit more conversational in your tone. The body should clearly indicate what information you are updating the person with, as well as if there are any attachments in the email that they should reference or review. In fact, Outlook has a feature in case you forgot to upload your attachment with this prompt that you see on screen. Finish off with a clear call to action, ideally indicating a date time you would like to receive a response by. What this does is it allows you to follow up on or after this date if you haven't heard, with a friendly reminder. Make it a habit to review your email completely so you can catch any typos. It's always a good idea to have someone quickly review it, especially before sending to clients. You can also use the spell check feature in Outlook. Here's my favorite part. Your branded e-signature is the last thing to complete your email. By using the standard e-signature, you represent the company consistently in all your communication, appearing professional and, most of all, providing legitimacy to your correspondence. You can add closing such as regards, take care, or sincerely before your e-signature. However, don't add anything in a different script or font prior to that, and you shouldn't have any additional links underneath your e-signature or modifications of any sort. There are only a couple of exceptions for our legal and HR teams. We have created e-signature templates for all our major brands, including Impark Health, which is available to all employees on the Impark side via My Impark or via contacts for the specific family of brands. For Impark, the instructions and templates can be found under the main marketing page. Please check your current e-signature and ensure that you have the newest e-signature template like you see on the screen. This was released about 2 years ago at this point, and we've maintained the same look. It's just the installation process that has been updated recently. So very shortly, I will be providing you a tutorial. So I would suggest if you are reviewing this webinar on your computer, you can take the time to quickly download the files if you want to follow along in the session. If you're part of the family of brands, you can contact some of your contacts for City Center Parking, Advanced, and Metro. For Republic, this is just you could say an idea snapshot. The finalized template will be coming shortly, so stay tuned for that. I just wanted to highlight some of the common errors with setting up contact information in your e-signature. It's what often causes your address line to fall onto the second line, as you can see here. As a company's best practice, please always use these abbreviations for your signatures. So with Canada, in the second example here, you will see how we abbreviated the street as well as west and moved the suite number before the street number. Finally, the province was also abbreviated. All of these follow the Canada Post address guidelines. So it will always ensure if anyone wants to send you something by mail, they will receive it. For the US, it's a similar sort of issue. Again, when you don't abbreviate, falls to the second line. And in the second example, we've abbreviated avenue as well as suite number as per the USPS guidelines. They don't actually want you to put the suite number before the street number. And finally, the state is also abbreviated to ensure it all fits on one line. And now I'm actually going to take you through a tutorial. So to start off, as I mentioned, make sure that you've downloaded the installation instructions as you do this, even if you're doing it right now with me, because the key is, especially under Section 8, we're going to need this item here to copy and paste a little later on.
Hey, Tripti, I'm gonna call you out for a second and break your stride. That's what I do. Can you go back a slide?
Sure, 1 second.
All right, so I'm going to have you guys send out another $25 gift card if anybody else, the first one to put into the chat what else they see that's wrong. Got to be more specific, guys. Be specific.
They're coming through.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Come on. Got a lot of people on the call. Whoa, slow down.
You open the floodgates here. You're getting a lot of answers.
Yeah. But we should probably, unit should be, no, all right. Yes. All right. Stop. Go back up. I got to go back up. They're flooding. All right. Everybody stop responding. We got a winner. If I'm not mistaken, it may be Cyrus. The MPark, well, it's not that the MPark I, if you look at the word MPark, it's not bold. The I isn't bolded and the K isn't bolded. So it's got to be, one or the other. So you see right above the 1707th, MPark. We got some bolded letters and some non-bolded letters. This is the whole purpose of this call, is to make sure that we get things exactly right. So, we typically don't capitalize the I in MPark. So it's just but everything's got to be bolded. So if there's a winner in there, John, you can find out who got the first proper response, and then I don't want to get back to the presentation.
Yep. Yep. I think I know who it is. I think you called it right. So I'll write that down.
Okay, we'll see there. Okay. Sorry, Tripti.
No problem. And just to clarify, the MPark you see there, it is actually the image that gets pasted there, so you shouldn't have any control of modifying those items there. It's only if you've copied and pasted, I guess,
okay,
from a screenshot that would happen.
All right, perfect.
All right, so let's quickly go into, the first thing you want to do is go into Outlook, open up a new email. Sorry, I think server was being a little bit slow there. You want to go under signatures. There's a little drop down. Click on signatures. I know it seems a bit redundant. You're going to click new, and then you're just going to type in your first and last name. I strongly suggest no spaces. I'm just going to add a 1 because I already have one existing, and I'm going to say OK. Nice and simple. Under new messages, you're going to go ahead and pick the exact same thing you just entered. And under replies, you're going to do the same. And it's correct that nothing should be in here. It's empty because we didn't actually input a signature yet.
And Tripti, just for me to break your stride one more time, for those that are in the audience, if you have the ability to at this time, you could actually take a photo using your phone to see as she maneuvers through this on where to find it. I mean, you will get the video link later, you'll get the presentation later, but right now you also have the ability to take snapshots with your phone and then use, because what the intentions is, as soon as we're done with this call, we want everybody to take the next 10 minutes and go through this process. Everybody has a email signature response going forward, so we'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Sounds good. You just press OK here, and then you can even just close the email signature. You then want to pull up your template. And again, I didn't fill this out ahead, just so if you do want to follow along, you can see how I do it. Number one thing to not do not highlight this whole thing and then just start typing. You're just going to delete everything. The formatting is all going to get messed up. So it's always good to just highlight the section that you are going to replace carefully. Don't pick any spaces outside of that area, and then just go ahead and type it. This way we maintain exactly the formatting where it should be, because this is often where I see the issues. And then under your title, again, same thing, just carefully highlight it. Oops, I had my caps lock on. Street address, hope you all remember from that question session. I'm in Canada, so I get to put this in front. If you're from the US and have a suite number, you want to put it after. You do not need to put a comma after the city. And then your postal code. My case, I just have a a desk phone. So I'm just going to put this. Note how I put it with periods and not dashes. And I don't have this, I'm going to delete it, but if you have it, you can fill that right out.
Hey Tripti, on the download samples, would it make sense to set up the proper city and everything else, or you're just going to replace city with, like Seattle with Boston, and so we have a sample so that actually flows? Because I think we're asking right now is, hey, remember how we set this up? Maybe when they download the sample, it will be already set up properly for Canada and US, and then it's just replacing like for like.
Sure, we could try and figure something out for that, because right now some people may not have suite numbers, or it could be different for each office. So okay. Unless you're saying you wanted them preset for each branch, but
if it was preset with maybe the street address, like numerical street and then suite, if they don't have a suite, it's just delete. Just like you didn't have a cell phone, you just delete what you don't have, but it comes fully loaded. I'm just looking for the simplest way to help the field out. So it comes pretty much pre-populated, and it's just replace suite number with the new number. If you don't have it, you delete it. Just a thought.
Sure. Now we just follow up by going save as. And I think the best place at this time is just throw it on your desktop. It'll be easier to find. You want to name it the exact same way that you did when you set it up in Outlook. So it cannot be any different. It has to be identical. Under the Save As type, you want to select Web Page. All right, once you do that, all you do is hit Save, and you're done. You'll notice a quick shift happen on screen like that, and that happens because this becomes an HTML file. But all you need to do now is just close it. All right. In the next step, you are going to do this. We should all have Windows 10 computers at this point in time. If you don't, you are likely going to find something called Run in this section here. But for everyone who does have it, you just have to use the fun little search feature, Cortana, type in the word Run, and then click right on that little app, and this will pop up. Now, do you remember on that PDF file I had mentioned that you need to copy and paste this? So all you need to do is actually highlight this, copy it, and in my case, I already had it here from before, Control-V to paste. Hit OK, and you'll notice this window pops up. We're going to call this the Outlook window. Now you can just put it to the side, let it hang out over there. And on the next, open up another folder. It's called in a File Explorer. And go ahead and locate where you saved your file that we just made in Word. So your customized template. When you go here, you're going to wonder, like, this looks interesting. I thought it was a Word file, but we saved it as a web page. So actually, the icon you're going to see next to it is either going to be Chrome or Explorer or I guess Mozilla Firefox, whatever the default browser you have on your computer is. At the end of the day, it is the HTML document you're opening and copying, nothing else. So you're just going to go ahead here. You can either go right-click copy, or in my case, I just like to use the quick shortcut, Control-C. Go back here to the window we had before. This was the Outlook window. You'll see the same thing here. Now you're going to make sure you click inside here and then go Control-V to paste. And it's going to ask you, it's going to say, you have the same name here already. Say, yep, replace it. That's it. You can close these windows. You don't need those anymore. And then you just open up a new email and ta-da! Your email signature is set up. It almost seems like magic. You were like, it wasn't there 2 seconds ago. I don't remember actually going in here and pasting it, but it's actually set up properly. It may look a bit weird in here. That's okay. It's because it's set up as an HTML file. The reason we do it this way and not just a straight copy from Word and paste into here is because it causes a lot of distortions. Things like the logos getting funny, the P getting massive, weird spacing. When you review it on different devices, or when you are you reply back and forth in a thread, you would notice over time if you had done it that way, it would start to impact it. So please make sure you follow this process for the Outlook desktop version. And
hey, Tripti, one quick thing, and I know I've thrown a lot in here, but two other elements that I think that are extremely important, and I like to see that actually get added as well, is that one, you should have your email address at the bottom. So, tstafford@impark.com. And then also equally important, I think, is to put in our website address. So a lot of times, from sales or client, we're all sending out, additional ancillary services. We're trying to procure business from a sales perspective. And if we send it to a prospect, they may want to go check out our website. So we should have in there, www.impark.com. or republicparking.com and so forth to drive them directly to our website. And I think also, too, some of the HR staff have been doing a great job putting at the bottom of that, join our talent network, which is another link. So I'm not opposed to those. I just want to make sure that we do it the right way, the clean way, and everything else. But those are invaluable when you're trying to drive top-line sales and growth.
for sure, the actual logos in this, in order to make it look as sleek as possible and minimize the clutter at bottom emails, actually has the hyperlink to the website. So that's already in there. And at present, the reason why we don't have the email signature, and the decision was made about that earlier, was because you are sending an email from yourself. So usually the person has the email, but we'll definitely look into the great suggestions that you mentioned.
Okay.
On screen, I have here just I have a quick overview of what I just went through. So if you need to use this as a reference, that's what it's here for. The next item is Outlook webmail. So webmail does not have the ability to, view images. So in this case, we can't actually put the logo in image format. So with this over here, let me just open it up. And this you might only use if you're off-site, you're having maybe trouble accessing your email. This is another way through the internet that you can access the files that you need. You want to go to Options, see all options, and then under Settings, it'll be the first thing that shows up here is your email signature. I've already set up mine ahead of time just to save us a little bit. You can either copy it by clicking on the crosshairs or just clicking on this completely. And then, sorry, pasted that twice. Click on the little checkbox there so that it automatically adds it to any new messages and hit save. And that's it. Your webmail version has also been set up. which again here, these are the instructions. And last but not least is your mobile. So for those of you who do have cell phones at the company, you can follow the steps based on the type of device you have. There are just, you can see two little question marks on screen depending on if you have an iPhone or if you have an Android device. It gives you instructions because the way you need to go and locate that area where the signature is a little bit unique. If those links don't provide what you need, then just look it up by your cell phone model and there should be instructions available. Typically, if you have not set this up in the past, what's probably happening is when you send an email from your phone, it'll just say, you know, send from my iPhone or send from my iPad or send from my Android device. So that's the part that we're replacing. Again, it doesn't allow for images, so all you can do is type in your content. So again, here we've provided, you know, just a quick list of what you need to put in the order you need to put it in. You won't be able to modify the fonts anyway, so that's kind of irrelevant in this scenario. And now, this brings us to poll question number 2. Let's see how well you were listening. Which method of updating your signature in Outlook's desktop version is incorrect? Okay, please note this is incorrect. Save a web page file and paste it into the Outlook folder. Paste it directly from the template into signatures. Use the template as a base to create your signature. Abbreviate the province state in your address line. And you are playing once again to win a $25 Amazon gift card. Let those votes come in.
All right. I have a random number that I'm picking from, so no one can count. All right, give it about a couple more seconds. I think people were paying attention, Tripti. I think you'll be.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
My happiest day.
All right. I'm just going to take time. I'm going to end the polling and share the results.
Wow, whopping 69% said paste it directly from the template into signatures. I totally appreciate you for listening. Yes, that's the easiest way out, but it won't have the ultimate results we want in the long run to ensure that we maintain the integrity of our e-signatures. So great job.
And real quick, the first poll was Third Floor Cordova. So you won the first gift card. For Ty's little award, that was Cyrus for identifying the mistake. And for the one that's just now, Ivy Yang won this gift card.
Good job, Ivy Yang. Let's now turn to phone calls with Ed.
All right, thanks, Tripti. In the past, you know, it was very common to exchange phone numbers on the back of napkins. As you can see here, it's also the way we, in some cases, created deals. But we're in a new era today, and we've got several tools that assist us in finding information quickly at the company. The first is the Outlook address book. We have email signatures, which we just talked about, and we have desk phone directories. All much easier and much more accurate in finding our colleagues and clients. We're going to talk about the desk phones and dial by extension. Cisco is the official new phone system for most of the Impart family, and there are currently a few exceptions, including Portland, where an upgrade is coming soon, and at present, Republic is not on the same system. So it's not available there yet. To use it, to find your instructions, you click on the phone guide to access how to best use your phone, and most importantly, to set up your voicemail greeting so that it's clear, professional, and doesn't have any background sounds. With the new Cisco phones, we can now dial by extension for internal calls. So you really just use the last 5 digits of the phone number, and not only is it fast, but it also saves the company a lot of money in long distance calls from Canada to the United States. This does not apply to cell phones. On your desk phone, you can also go use your you can receive your voicemail by email. So if someone leaves you a voicemail, it will automatically go to your email. Voicemail by email is another great tool that's available in many offices. Your desktop voice messages are, again, automatically attached. You can listen on your computer device. And here's an example of a voicemail which clearly indicates the caller, the person, the message is intended for, and the general request followed by a method of contact.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, this is a message for Tripty. This is Hannah Fairhead calling from the Toronto Adelaide office. I hope you're well today. I just had a query with regards to the marketing request form, and I was wondering whether you could give me a call back. My extension is 53958. Thank you.
So a great example there, and you can actually delete your voicemails directly from your email. So if you're doing that, it should just automatically delete. It is a good idea to periodically check your device just to make sure those voicemails have been deleted so you don't run out of space. And now we're going to turn to my favorite topic and device and tool that I use every day, and that is visual voicemail. So if you're on Rogers in Canada or Verizon in the States, both this service is available within our current plans if you have the right device. I found visual voice message to be a great way to be informed of incoming messages wherever I am. Although it's not always 100% accurate in its translations, I can quickly receive the basis of a message and text or message them back, letting them know that I've received their message right away. It's really quick. It lets at least clients and people that you work with know that you're interested in their message, that you've received it, and that you're engaged with them in your conversation. For Rogers use in Canada, an IT help desk should be submitted to add visual voicemail to your line. Now we have poll question number 3. So earlier we asked, what's your preferred method of communication at work? In this poll question, we're going to ask, what's your preferred communication method at home? Is it email, telephone, landline? Is it a cellular call? Is it a text message? And again, on the 6th response, we'll receive a $25 Amazon gift card. And now, if you remember in the first one, it was clearly email. And as the responses are coming in, any guesses as to which is going to lead here?
I think it's going to be landline. I think that's a definite winner.
In my house,
how about text with all the millennials?
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I had a landline.
What is a landline?
I know.
All right. Well, we got a lot of responses real quick. All right, I'm going to end the polling, share the results. And we do have, so added here's the results, and I'll tell you the winner once you're done talking about the results.
Okay, so it looks like, if you take cellular and text together, it's like 84% of us communicate in a different way than we do it, our preference at work. So try to, when you're dealing with someone, try to remember someone's preferred communication method and be sure to identify yours with those that you communicate with frequently. For instance, if in your voicemail greeting, you prefer to be contacted by email versus phone, just say so right there. And I found in my personal relationships with employees and people that I work with, I just know that someone just prefers text much more than a voice message or an email. And the response time is really great. And, it just seems to be the best way to contact them, and they seem to appreciate it. So now let's wrap it up.
So today we provided you a series of tips that are good practices in communicating effectively. Now we want to hear from you. First, think of a tip that you use that has helped you improve your communication and efficiency in responding. Email Ed with this idea. You get 1 entry into a draw. For a bonus entry, make sure that your email subject properly identifies what the high-level context of the email is. Hint, it's on this slide. And use your proper e-signature. With this, you will be entered into a draw to win not 25, but a $50 Amazon gift card. The deadline is tomorrow, Friday, Jan 19th at 5 p.m. PST. So from today's presentation, these are some key action items we need for you to do after this presentation, if you've not already done it with us. Update your Active Directory entry if it is incorrect, or just at least make sure you check it out. Then you want to update your email signature by February 1st and make sure this is done for all relevant devices. For everyone, it should be desktop and webmail. For those with cell phones, you would also do it for your mobile. And lastly, check to see if visual voicemail is available for your cellular device, and if so, feel free to activate it. It might help you out quite a bit.
So in summary, what we would like to do is, just some takeaways here, keep your contact information updated. And an update to our earlier presentation, if you are updating your information in the address book, you can do it on your computer, it just won't, the rest of the company won't see it. So you are going to need to put in a help desk ticket to have that change so everyone can see the correct information.
That's a great point.
Try to respond in a timely manner. Again, same day before 3, at least within 24 hours, if after 3, use the company template for email signatures. Make sure we look great. Make sure people can talk to you and respond to you quickly by having that information, and dial by extension where you can. Improving the way we communicate with each other as we continue to grow will make us all more efficient. It's something simple that we can all benefit from today. Thank you. Thank you for being here for our presentation. We hope you gained some useful tips and insights into communication. Let's open it up for some questions.
Yeah, we definitely got a few questions out there, John. If you want to start taking a look at those. Triptied, outstanding job, great presentation, great graphics. You can definitely tell a lot of work went into it. So appreciate everybody's support. You know, we want to standardize our brand, our responses, and everything else. So this will really, you know, start helping with brand recognition, brand awareness, strengthen the brand, and everything else. And so even if you have an older version, you know, that maybe you copy and pasted, please go back and hit the reset button on that. I just know some of my takeaways from this call was, you know, communication is one of our most valuable weapons, but we have to make sure that it's effective communication, valued communication, and make sure that if you go back and forth on a email more than 3 or 4 times, just pick up the phone and talk through it. Often it's much better. Or, you know, a lot of times you CC people in. If it no longer concerns them, please drop them off the distribution. So, you know, I always say that speed and agility win. So we need to give some energy back to the team. You know, when it comes to differentiation, the customer experience, internally customer experience and external customer experience is truly our differentiator. So if we do an enhanced customer experience, that'll help drive our organization forward. You know, and let's make sure that we get the, you know, the proper, you know, communications in our tagline on the signature auto reply. So that way it'll be helpful for our clients and prospects to find us, find our website, and so forth. So once again, great job. John, I'll turn it over to you on the Q&A section.
Okay, thank you, Ty. So first question, and Tripti, I'm not sure if we have an answer for this right this second, but Dana asked, since Republic's using Office 365, which is cloud-based, is that tied into the Impark Active Directory right this moment? I'm not sure, so I might have to find clarification for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, because that seems like something of more of like an IT question. Actually wasn't aware that they were fully on the cloud and 365 and not using, I mean, I think we all are, but I believe that will be definitely an IT question to double check, or, you know, we can do a quick Google after this and see what we can find out for Dana.
Okay. Yep. So the next 2 comments were from Gordon Craig. So one, reinforcing that in your address book and Outlook, and just so I'm saying this right for Republic as well, the Outlook client, so the one that you can open through Citrix, just by, if you change your entry in your address book, that doesn't change the Active Directory. The Active Directory is something that has to be updated by Impark IT. So that's one thing Gordon wanted to let everybody know. And the second one in relation to that was just mentioning the fact that ideally you want to have your Active Directory match your employment letter, your email signature, you want your business card to match, and you want your entry in the payroll register. and in your department's org chart, obviously you want kind of all 5 of those things to match and say the same thing. So thank you, Gordon, for bringing those up. Yep. Tripty, I guess this is to you from Dana. So does this signature become our like e-business card, or what they used to call a V card or a VCF file? Do you know?
No, I believe the VCF file is more related to the information that is probably connected with the Active Directory. So we'd have to double check this with IT, but it's based on what information is already there in the properties when you send an email to somebody. So when they attach and save your information as a contact, or you send it over, I think it's pulling it from the directory, not from your e-signature. The e-signature is you could say it's like an additional visual element. It's like a picture that's been added in.
Okay, great, thank you. So we got a question from Matt Course. So when replying in Outlook, sometimes Outlook, as we know, it drops the HTML formatting and our signature card does not carry over. Any recommendations for how to prevent Outlook from changing to text?
I believe that happens also, it depends on where you send the message from. So sometimes when you're sending a message or replying to a meeting request, for instance, doing a reply all, you'll notice that all of a sudden you can't access images or anything of the sort. So all you need to do is click on, there is a tab on the top that allows you under view, I believe, to change it from plain text to rich text. And then you should be able to view all the images properly when you send the message, because it's important when you send it that all the images are there when the person receives it. Okay.
One question from Vince at Republic is on a replying email or email chain, what's the proper signature to use? Do we want to use the entire signature every time we're replying in an email thread?
Right. I mean, I would say, like, originally the plan was that, yes, you don't need to use it every time in a thread. I feel like it's almost like a matter of preference. I would say whenever the first email gets sent out, your full signature should be there. If you're emailing back and forth with the person, you don't necessarily need to have it in that thread. It just makes it more clunky. However, sometimes people have mentioned that they find it hard to go and search to the end, go to the end of the thread to look for your contact information. So I guess it really, I would say, depends on who you are in contact with and your best style of responding. But just don't.
Yeah, I agree with that. So just to back up and jump in there, is I would just say, use good judgment. If it's somebody that you're corresponding internally, they know who you are, you know who they are. I mean, we're family, right? Is Embark and House of Brands. Is it, it's going to pop up automatically every time. It's a quick highlight, delete to clean it up, so it makes the email less clunky and thick. But if you have a prospect you're corresponding with or a business partner that you're corresponding with for the very first time, it's nice to be able to exchange that contact information. Then after that, you can kind of, decide whether you want to drop it off going forward. But I'll say it's always wear a suit and tie on your first business appointment, because, you always want to make sure that you dress up, not dress down. Then after that, you can kind of mirror your client's taste for business attire. So just good practice.
I think a good thing to remember is if you receive an email from someone and you're part of a group and you are responding, if you respond to that email and you have your setting where it doesn't have your contact information, you just need to know, does that person know how to get a hold of me quickly? And if they don't, then you should have your contact information there, because that's what happens, I think, predominantly is someone that's copied responded and provides great input, but you can't get back to them right away because their contact information isn't there. So think of that before you respond.
Yeah, just a quick note, like when you're looking at it on screen, you can just quickly switch between them. So when I went under signatures and showed you to put replies, if you just left it as none, nothing would come if you replied to somebody. But if it's the first time you're replying to them, all you need to do is go here, click on it, and it'll pop in the e-signature for you.
Great tip, thank you.
No problem.
So this is a question from Darren. It's to you, Ed. So when voice message is received from my landline to my email, when I listen to it, it is on speaker on the cell, which is not private. You can't listen to it without using a speaker. Is there any way around this? And again, that's from Darren.
I've noticed the same thing. I think it's a quick question for IT. Personally, what I do is I forward, because I'm traveling a lot, I forward my desk phone to my cell. Nothing ever really arrives on my desk phone. And I use visual voicemail to translate everything. So I get a translated text of what someone of the message, so I can respond to them quickly and really see it. So that kind of helps you in that particular instance. But we'll need to reach out to IT to find out what's going on there with the speaker.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Yep, I'm writing some of these down so we can get in touch, get some answers. From Mark, do we wait for the email signature templates updates for adding email website so we are not duplicating the efforts twice?
I would say, yeah, we will send once we talk on our end, I think we need to have a discussion before we send it out. We will wait for that and keep you informed about the template if there are any changes.
Yeah, well, I think what we do, Tripty, is we can have a short chat this afternoon just to make sure that we do set up the right profile, and then hopefully when John sends out maybe tomorrow the recorded link, the PowerPoint, you can find it also underneath the My MPark. By then, hopefully we'll have a standard platform and we can go in and get those changed relatively quickly, so we can start getting this thing out into the field.
Okay. Next question here. I know we're right at the top of the hour, so we'll just try and get through these, respect everybody's time. So thank you everyone who still stayed on. For Vince asked, for the February 1st date on the logo signatures for Republic Parking, will that be available prior to this date?
Yes, it should be available prior to that date, but if not, you guys will get a little extension. No problem.
Okay. So got another question. I'll make a quick point here. Anonymous questions, it's a functionality. They can be done that way. However, if you ask a question and you're anonymous, I have no way of ever getting back to you if it's pertinent to you. Just letting you know. So the question is, what is the expectation for when an email signature should be included? All emails, original, responses, forwards, internal, external, only external, original messages only, all replies and forwards, or are there any other criteria?
So I believe we did kind of answer this question when it came up earlier. So basically we're saying anytime you send an email for the first time, whether you're replying for the first time or sending that email, composing it yourself, your email signature should always be there. Now, whether it's part of a thread and it's already been mentioned once, then it's to your discretion whether you repeat it over and over again.
Okay. An FYI we got is the URL in our logo and the signature causes the email to be undeliverable to some clients. For example, ontario.ca.
Right, I'm sure there are some there. The problem is it's also different emails and different servers that organizations have. They have different levels of security. So it's the same way, like if we receive a zip file from somebody, we can't even open it. It automatically eliminates it. So it could just be that some sites like that company, they don't have that option that allows them to click email hyperlinks in messages. So we basically try our best to make it as as available to everybody as possible. Some things might have limitations, but we can definitely review and see this item that you brought up and how it can be addressed in the future.
Okay. I'm going to cut it here. We have one last question, so I'll just cut it here and then I'll gladly let everybody go. So the last question is the signature setup process the same for Citrix-based Outlook, where Outlook is not located on the local machine? This is different than webmail. I can answer. I think this is obviously someone from Republic. I imagine it would work the same if you go through Citrix and open Outlook 2013. The demo that Tripty showed us was through Outlook, the Outlook client. So I would imagine it would work the same, but I just wrote that down so I can get clarification from my team.
Yes, I believe it should, but I agree. We should get it clarified by IT. They're the best people to ask some of these more specific questions.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, if IT is on the call, they're happy to, in future. I mean, it's great to have a subject matter expert out there to be able to put into the Q&A the proper response to some of these questions. So that way we can read back, from an IT expert, yes or no, or clarification. So this would be helpful in the future.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we got. So unless there's anything closing thoughts, we're good to wrap up.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Great job.
Take care, everybody.